Welcome back. We now have Canada's national men's team, Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, and Sam Reinhart. Again, one question and a follow-up as well.
Connor and Sam, do you remember where you were and what you were doing when Sidney scored that overtime goal in 2010 and how that impacted you?
Yeah, I mean, that's a memory of a lifetime right there. That was my last year living in Vancouver before moving away to junior. So to be in Vancouver, I was actually at a couple of games. I was at the shootout game winner against Switzerland. So I was jumping up and down on my couch with a couple families over at my parents, and there's definitely some rearranging of furniture going on, after that one.
Hi, Derek Van East, NHL.com. Just both for Connor and Sam. Just you guys have been denied the opportunity for whatever circumstances to play in the Olympic Games. You've had a long time to think about it. What's it actually? Like, how do you feel about getting a chance to represent your country at that level on that stage? And the things that come with it, just walking into the Olympic Stadium, being around other athletes, just there's things like that. Just maybe a thought on that from both of you.
Well, I think it's, you talk to people that have been there, and the consensus is always there's nothing like it. There's nothing that compares to it. It's kind of interesting. It's been out of the game for so long. You almost don't take it for granted because of that. There's a lot of players, a lot of high-end players that kind of missed out on that opportunity. So you have to kind of cherish it. And then you got someone like me that it's kind of coming at a perfect time, right? So. You almost relish it that much more, and you certainly have to seize that opportunity.
Hi, gentlemen. Moses Boulder here with Global Calgary. This question is more directed to Connor and Sam. I know with Sid and probably the stories he's probably told you about his Olympic experiences, but you did touch on just talking to everybody else, whether it's the para hockey team or the women's hockey team. Is there a story amongst your conversations that you've had where it kind of stood out, where you're like, that's going to get me excited for 26, getting that opportunity because you saw you heard Marie-Philippe Poulin tell a story? Is there a couple examples you can provide?
Yeah, I think most of it, the stories. It's what happens in the athlete village, right? You're sitting for lunch or dinner or breakfast, whatever it might be, and you're just conversing with athletes in all different forms, and they're all at the top of the game, so just kind of sharing stories, sharing history, how you got there. I think that's part of the experience as well, and that's what we're looking forward to.
I asked Sid about, putting into perspective what this means to him. I wonder for you guys, if you can put in perspective what it means to get a chance to play with him in the Olympics, provided, all things go well, that he's still representing Canada at this level.
The biggest motivation there is, for us is that, it doesn't look like the window's closing for him anytime soon. And like you said, he's a day-by-day kind of guy focused on the now. And, that's motivating for us. And, so we're excited about that opportunity.
Sam, no team had more players in the Four Nations than Florida, and it's probably going to be similar at the Olympics. What was it like getting back into your team's dressing room after the Four Nations was over?
Not too big of an issue. I mean, once you get back on the ice, it's right back to where you left off. I think like Connor touched on it. Everyone was kind of in different positions going into the break. So it probably benefited us going into it. Guys were ramping up, wanting to be at their best. I don't think it's going to be any different this year.